But you are suggesting that you think the social media companies are actually doing a reasonable job in covering this crisis. You think that people are generally getting pretty good information about the science of all of this.
Yeah, they're certainly not perfect, and there's so much happening on social media that I think it's hard to control, but they're acting with a kind of confidence about truth and falsity that you just rarely see from those companies. I think there's a lot of hand-wringing when politicians say racist things, inflammatory things in the United States and elsewhere about, what is censorship and where can the social media platforms intervene. You've seen none of that here. They've been deleting tweets by, for instance, the president of Brazil when it contains misinformation. They're getting a kind of clarity of guidance from the World Health Organization that engineers really like. I mean, this is the sort of situation that people running Facebook and Twitter really were built for, and Google to YouTube. And I think there's a question of, are there lessons here that you can translate back to the world of politics? I think the answer is probably not. And what you're seeing play out in these geopolitical disinformation campaigns is that as confident as the platforms are about deleting a tweet from the president of Brazil about coronavirus, they're not going to delete that Chinese foreign ministry spokesman spreading basically political disinformation.
Well, because they know what a fact is. When it comes to science, they have a harder time with that in anything that looks like politics.
That's right.
And not to mention the fact that the economic consequences of doing so for them are problematic. But the other side of this, of course, is that the tech companies are some of the very few winners in all of this, right? I mean, 6 months ago, we were talking about, Elizabeth Warren was talking about needing to break up these big tech monopolies. I mean, now with most of the U.S. economy on its back, the one thing we know is that we desperately need these tech companies, right? I mean, you can buy from Amazon, you need your Google, you need your Facebook. Do we come out of this with vastly stronger tech companies with control over personal data that is just completely beyond the pale of what we ever thought we were going to be dealing with?
I mean, I think the tech companies' critics made a lot of gains over the last couple of years, and they will still have to react to some degree to those. But I think when you end this and you're talking about what are the trusted institutions and what are the distrusted institutions, I mean, I think the government failures, the polarization around the media, is going to leave a situation where Amazon was this incredibly functional logistics network for the country in a crisis. I mean, I don't know. Would you have trusted the federal government to keep up the supply chain? Maybe. And the social networks, for all that they are polarizing, are also keeping people connected. So the platforms like the one we're using right now, Zoom, are pretty miraculous. So I do think that the tech companies are likely to emerge from this with even more power and with their kind of hegemony even more secure in ways that we're going to be reckoning with for a long time.